let's talk about that frustrating cycle. You're in an intimate moment trying to connect, but your brain decides to throw a full-blown panic party instead. Suddenly, what's supposed to be about pleasure becomes a source of stress. And the more you worry, the worse it gets, and it can leave you feeling defeated. But here's the thing, you're not broken. The problem isn't your performance, it's the default wiring in your brain. And the best part, that's something you can actually change. So in this video, we're diving into science-backed techniques to reset that neurochemistry so you can get out of your head and reclaim your confidence in the bedroom. So before we dive into the science, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Anand Chaturvedi, adult psychiatrist and clinical researcher. I work with people to help them overcome mental blocks. And in this issue, we're going to talk about one of the most common and solvable problems that I see. So first, let's understand what actually is happening in your brain. So when you feel performance anxiety, your brain is sounding a false alarm. So I want you to think of it like a faulty smoke detector that goes off when you're just making toast. There's no real danger, but the alarm is blaring anyway. And this false alarm triggers your fight or flight response, which is a lifesaver if you're getting chased by a bear, but absolutely terrible for intimacy. It floods your body with a stress hormone called cortisol, which is the ultimate passion killer. Cortisol's job is to shut down all non-essential functions to help you survive. And unfortunately, your body doesn't consider your sex drive essential when a bear is supposedly in the room. So blood gets diverted away from where you want it, and it is sent to your major muscles so you can fight or run. Meanwhile, your brain's reward system gets shoved to the back burner. Dopamine, which is the chemical that makes you feel excited and engaged, gets drowned out by the stress signals. So even oxytocin, which we call the love hormone for bonding, can't work its magic when you're stuck in a state of fear. Now, think of your brain like a snowy field. Every time you have an anxious thought about sex, what if it happens again? You're walking down the same path, packing the snow down. And so over time, that path becomes a deep, icy trench, and your brain just slides into it automatically. So our goal isn't to fight the trench. That's exhausting. We're going to create new, warmer paths and walk them over and over until they become the default. So let's get practical here. Here are 4 science-backed techniques to start creating those new neuronal pathways. Now, the first one, the fastest way to shut off that blaring fight or flight alarm is by taking manual control of your breath. Anxious breathing is fast and shallow. Calm, aroused breathing is deep and slow. So you can literally use your breath to flip the switch from your anxious system to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest system that allows for arousal. Now, the technique that I'm about to tell you is called box breathing. It's a superpower because it's simple, completely discreet, and you can do it anytime anxiety creeps in, even with a partner. And here's how box breathing works. You inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. You hold your breath for a count of 4. And then you exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. Hold at the bottom for a count of 4. And repeat this 4 or 5 times. When you would deliberately slow down your exhale, you're sending a direct signal to your vagus nerve, which acts as an emergency brake for your stress response. It tells your brain, false alarm, no bear in the room. This immediately starts lowering cortisol, allowing blood flow to return to normal and creating the calm, physiological state you need for arousal. Practice this daily so your body gets better at calming itself down on command. Now, next up, let's deal with the stories you're telling yourself. Performance anxiety runs on a loop of automatic negative thoughts. But thankfully, we have a tool from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, called cognitive reframing, which is designed to smash that loop. So it's a simple 3-step process. You identify, challenge, and replace. First thing you gotta identify the specific thought that's making you anxious. Maybe it's, I'm going to lose my erection, or I'm going to disappoint my partner. Just name it and write it down. Seeing the fear and black and white robs it of some of its power. The second thing is you challenge that thought. Put it on trial. Is it really 100% true? Has it happened every single time? What's a more realistic outcome? So if the thought is, I'm going to lose my erection, the challenge becomes, hold on, arousal naturally ebbs and flows for everyone. That's normal. It doesn't mean intimacy has to stop. There are plenty of other ways to connect and feel good. So the third thing is you need to replace the previous thought with a balanced and compassionate thought. So instead of saying, my partner will be disappointed, try this. My partner is here to connect with me. This is a shared experience, not a performance review. I can even be open with them about what I'm feeling. So this isn't about lying to yourself or forcing toxic positivity. It's about fighting catastrophic thinking with a dose of realism. Each time you challenge a negative thought, you're weakening that old, icy neural pathway and strengthening a new, confident one. So here's a third technique. And before I talk about that, here's a simple truth. Anxiety lives in the future, and the what ifs, pleasure and arousal live right here, right now. So the most powerful mental shift you can make is to drag your attention away from performing and anchor it in being present. You can't worry about the outcome if you're fully absorbed in the sensations of the moment. This is mindfulness in action. So the moment you feel yourself getting stuck in your head, you pull your attention back to your 5 senses. What can you feel? The warmth of your partner's skin, the sheets on your back. Just focus on the touch, no goal attached. What can you hear? Their breathing, your own heartbeat. And what can you see? The look in their eyes, the way they smile, the way they look. Your mind will wander back to worried thoughts. That's a given. But when it does, don't get frustrated. Think of yourself as the bouncer of your own mind. Anxious thoughts are just uninvited guests trying to crash the party. You simply and calmly say, sorry, you're not on the list, and you turn your attention back to the good stuff. This cognitive practice retrains your brain to associate intimacy with sensory pleasure, not mental pressure. Remember this, your partner doesn't want a perfect performance. They want your presence. So our final technique is a game changer. It's straight from sex therapy. It's called Sensate Focus, and its entire purpose is to take all the performance goals completely off the table. So the rules are simple. You and your partner set aside time where intercourse and orgasm are banned. You heard that right. Not the goal, they're off limits. The only goal is to explore non-sexual touch. So you can take turns. When you're the giver, your only job is to be curious. Explore your partner's body like it's a new and interesting landscape, focusing on textures, temperatures, and pressures. You're not trying to arouse them. You're just exploring for your own sake. When it's your turn to be touched, your only job is to receive. That's it. You don't have to respond a certain way or worry about what's happening. You just notice how it feels. So by removing the pressure to perform, you remove the primary trigger for anxiety. Your nervous system can finally relax, and over time, your brain stops seeing the bedroom as a test you might fail and starts relearning that it's a safe space for connection and pleasure. And the funny thing is, natural arousal often returns as a byproduct, precisely because it's no longer the goal. Now look, rewiring your brain isn't a quick fix. It's a practice. It's about being compassionate with yourself and consistently choosing to build new habits of thought and behavior. You have the power to change your relationship with sex by using your breath to calm your body, your thoughts to build confidence, and your focus to connect with the present moment. It was never about becoming a perfect performer. It's always been about becoming a present partner. So if this video resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building confidence and connection. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one insight you're taking away from all this? Sharing your experience might just help someone else feel a little less alone. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video.